What's up, everybody? Um, just getting the live started here. Just want to check. Okay, audio's fine. Same old stuff. Same old morning routine for now. Yeah, so today it is the Wednesday before non-farm payrolls. We also have reciprocal tariff announcements today, I think at 3 o'clock. Some places I saw 3, some places I saw 4. Uh, it would be pretty interesting if they did it at 3 o'clock to see how the markets react, but I have one economic calendar telling me 3 and another one telling me 4. It would make a little bit more sense if they did it at 4 just to minimize potential terror in the market. So, yeah, let's get into a little bit of what we're expecting for today. Okay, so let me just make sure I don't mess this up. Are we good? Let me just check that stays up. OBS has been giving me some like weird problems with screen capture, so that's the only reason why I'm kind of taking that. Okay, so we're chilling. Uh, anyway, we're aiming lower again. So yesterday, just to go over, we did end up bouncing off of my initial long entry position here. We did end up taking out those weird highs that where were they? Here. Took those out. We did end up going higher, took out the S&T, ran towards the M5 impulse EQ, which is basically this straight down leg that wasn't balanced by any buying pressure. We definitely came into it, I believe, like just under the equilibrium and then started to fall off. So usually I wouldn't touch this as a short because I'd be looking for it to run up into that level. Let's look at the higher time frames. Higher time frames, we just wedged right into a 15-minute fair value gap and started to kind of come down. If we measure that, it actually puts the EQ higher. So yeah, I wouldn't really touch it, but it doesn't really matter because I was done for the day and it happened post market and right around the open we kind of came up. I'm gonna look at that as just weakness in the market, that it wasn't able to balance that area, and it'll go back there eventually. Um, it's just a matter of when. So yeah, so I'm looking for the market to go lower today. I think so. I have yesterday's low marked out on both of my ES and NQ charts. I still have this 4-hour fair value gap. This, I believe, is that weekly low that I just still have highlighted just as a reference point. So yeah, I'm still looking to trade the market lower. I don't know how aggressive I'm going to be per se, trying to trade the market lower. Obviously, if I see something on the upside that makes sense to me, I'm going to trade that. But the overarching macro target is lower. So let me just mark out the midnight open here. I forgot to do it on my Topstep charts. I do have it on my trading view charts. So you'll see I actually have the view op open here. We have an old new week opening gap that held price on ES. Pretty interesting right here. It's this line. I'm not going to drag it out in time because I just don't feel like it. Um, but you get the point. I'm actually forgot to delete that though. It's the old weekly open. So yeah, so basically what you'll see is I'll turn off the view up here. What you'll see is during London session, we had a bit of SMT taking the midnight highs. NQ did not, so we have this kind of action going on. And then ES moving higher off those highs. So SMT during London, and we've just kind of been spilling over ever since. I don't know if New York's just going to puke the open immediately. If we were to have a template of a New York continuation, you would expect to see, and there's also no news, by the way. So sorry, I'm just getting some more things marked out. You would expect to see some sort of retracement around 7-ish or maybe even 8:30, like 8:30 news. There was no 8:30 news today. It was 8:15 ADP non-farm employment change, I believe. You would expect to see some sort of retracement back up into this range and then a continuation lower for around 9:30. We're not getting that right now. So I don't really know how the open is going to pan out. Let's take a look. I'm actually going to mark out to this. This is the gap from yesterday's news from 10 o'clock. I'm going to measure that out in time. And let's do that like blue, a blue color. Let me throw that on Topstep as well. So yeah, so you could see, I mean, obviously, again, I had mentioned that we were probably going to rebalance this area, want to go higher, and we did. So that was I'm happy with the call and the analysis yesterday. Look how we came down and just touched that midpoint and repelled higher. So those news gaps, they're obviously meaningful to look at. So we're going to kind of just like what I do in my trading is I'm looking to find any sort of reference point to give me an idea of where price wants to draw to. Like on days like today where we're not incredibly clear, in terms of structure, I mean, obviously structure is very weak. We're just puking lows and fading weakness. We rebalanced this last leg. So if we just go swing high to low, first swing to first low of the impulsive move, you see we kind of reject right around there. So, I mean, that makes plenty of sense from a structure standpoint. If we move the swing up, I don't really love doing this because it doesn't do a whole lot for me, and it typically puts it in around the same spot. So yeah, sorry, phone's bringing in stuff. Hopefully we can get some trades in. I have to be out of the house by like 11 o'clock today, so we'll see. Oh, anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a pretty clear retracement to the upside, and now we look for it to continue lower. It's going to be difficult to continually chase this down. I mean, we do have some nice low resistance highs here that can be taken. Again, ES relatively stronger in terms of where the weekly candle is. On the chart, they look about the same, but in reference to the weekly price, ES is showing a little bit more strength. NQ definitely dipping below and hanging around the weekly opening gap and the weekly opening price a lot more. So hopefully, when we do take some lower trades, some short trades on the Nasdaq, we will get some pretty solid movement. Today does also have the potential to just be a complete shit show in terms of whipsaw volatility. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the other things. I hate how VIX is delayed. That's the biggest scam ever. I have to look on like a Webull account or something. I guess we could look at the Dow too. Dow might be a good idea to check out. Dow in the same spot structurally. However, the only difference is that Dow has diverged on the highs. So that's something to note. So we had some S&T on the Dow highs. Let's look at it from a 4-hour perspective. Yeah. Okay. And obviously on the daily, both charts are looking like this. Let's go back to NQ, where we are coming up and into this daily fair value gap and moving lower. So like I had said earlier in the week, how we were going to go for this weekly swing low to quickly debunk the SMT that was previously put into that caused this up move retracement. I'm expecting the volatility to continue, the speed of the move to continue low, accelerating lower, just by proxy of like having to invalidate that SMT. So yeah, I mean bias lower. Will we take upside trades? Yeah, we can. You know, if the draw makes sense, and it's a good trade. Um, if not, I mean we're definitely going to be. Let's put it this way: we're going to be a little bit more greedy holding our short trades, and we're going to be a little bit more nimble holding our long trades. And that's pretty much how I'm going to go about the day. 5 minutes till the open. I'm just going to kind of cruise around the charts. Oh, and see if I can find anything worth noting. NQ just falling to bits here. So yeah, I'm just gonna check out the lower time frames and see if I can find some like lows or like something that makes me confident in taking trades to the downside besides just my bias. What I look for are just a bunch of equal lows, low resistance lows like these, unmitigated, flat bottom can't like wickless candles like this. Obviously we have the 4 hour gap all the way down here. But I like to look at the smaller structure of things, the lower time frames. So these I would mark out, but I'm just not going to. I just don't, I mean, it's like the little stab below. I don't, maybe this candle's low really is what I would kind of like to mark out. So we'll keep that in mind on the 5 minute chart. I'm not too worried necessarily about the finding plenty of downside targets for NQ because we have higher time frame targets. What I really want to look for is, I guess, upside upside targets on the lower time frame, see if I can find anything clear. It's just a lot of unmitigated lows. $15-minute fair value gaps. I think I'm going to do the 15-minute chart on my trading view to keep that where it's at. Hourly, I don't really have too much interest in. Also just mark out 50% of yesterday's range. And we'll just kind of have that up. Help me right. What is that supposed to mean? Okay, and we're just saying EQPD for previous day. Yeah, I got nothing. We're just gonna kind of wait this open out and see what happens. Ugh. You have 50% of this wick that may hold price, but I'm not really counting on that. I like weekly open and other stuff like that. Maybe this hourly gap if it wants to mess around. Hourly order block. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sure. Open in 30 seconds. Just measuring that out. writing out, should I say. All right, let's get ready. 15 seconds to the open here. See how we play. Touched into the weekly open there. It's actually a good long. But I feel like we've just been starting every day, like taking one long or one short or whatever, and like going down $60 like fast. So we'll save ourselves. We'll save ourselves the torment. And like good long isn't like not a great long into like just because look, so we have all these low resistance highs. It come like 9:29, the minute before the market opens regular trading hours taps into the weekly open. That makes me believe that, we could just kind of have a nice reaction to the upside. The only poor part, obviously, is that ES did play catch up and took this low, so there's not a whole lot of SMT to back up that move. I think I might take a look at the regular trading hours. Let's go to a 15-minute chart. Let's go here. So it's a massive gap down, obviously, in the regular trading hours. Right back into this gap. So we played around it pretty good. Let's take a look at ES. Regular trading hours, also massive gap down. We have this previous gap as well. So again, going into the weekly open for NQ, moving off of it nicely. Maybe I will measure out that gap. I hate it because I really don't want my chart to get too cluttered. But I would like to just have an idea of where a quarter point is. So just measuring close to open. Topstep freezing again? No? Yes? Maybe so. I think I'm going to do the same thing on my trading view charts as well. Yes, clearly reaching for the first quadrant of its regular trading, of its market, like New York opening gap. So right away, I'm noticing that we actually have divergence on the NQ contract and MNQ contract. MNQ made these equal lows. NQ did take this low. Let's just make sure on the 15-minute chart, actually. Yeah, so that's another. So we talked. I took a trade yesterday based on one of those discrepancies. I typically like to see those get evened out. I'm not just going to go blindly shorting right now. But that's something I'll keep in mind, that this today's open is definitely a vulnerable open to be rebalanced. Okay, something I don't like right away out of the gate is I'm noticing also on the NQ contract, the gaps are different. Those 10 a.m. news gaps are different. I'll show you right now. So now we've just reached into the top side, right? So this candle's high, right? It was just at the top end. Look where we are. Like this is a larger gap, is what I'm trying to say, or it's up higher. So there's a little bit of unevenness. For that reason, I'm not going to be as precise using highs or lows. I'm just going to try to use it more for bias. Like I'm not going to take shorts just because it's rejecting the top side, because it's a different top side on the actual, like the full size E-mini contract. So we're going to use that. We're going to try to just use that for more so bias. Just make sure I have the open. Yeah, close, open. So all that's correct. Go back here. Candle close, candle open. Nothing you could really do. It just must be a data discrepancy. If we get a discrepancy word counter on the screen. Lame. All right. So pretty solid move there. Why is that? I'm seeing major difference right now. Oh my, are these candles frozen? Yo, Topstep has got to get their stuff together here. There's definitely a problem. So higher time frame candles are frozen on Topstep. Right now we're bumping up against yesterday's EQ. That's annoying. So this is previous day EQ. Now we're moving up into halfway of the gap. It's probably just a really good long to take down at these lows. Here's the low resistance highs. We'll probably end up taking sweeping those. Maybe even back into the that old new day opening gap. Kind of looks good, right? Yeah, so top step higher time frames are freezing. I'm actually going to probably go into the Discord and see if anyone's mentioning that. So we just swept those highs, yes, right into the, and I can't use, why would I be able to use that? Annoying. Wow, what a long off that weekly open. Sheesh. We might just be sitting here today. Discord. Who wants to step in front of the train? It's really bothering me that these higher time frame candles aren't working though. That's super annoying. At least I can go up to 5 minutes. Okay, just swept that high. Let's try one there as it's in that old new day opening gap midpoint. Swept the 5-minute up close candle high. Which is this high right here on ES. So VWAP is down here somewhere. I don't believe that's correct. In fact, it's not. It's a different VWAP. I just want to go to Topstep support. So back into the new day opening gap. Created some equals. I really want to add more, but I just don't want, like, I'm stepping in front of a train here. ES bounced actually off of the midpoint of its regular trading hours gap. We're gonna, I don't want to move my stop to even because I see these little equals here. I'll just be disciplined about it. Like, let's just see if we could, well, what is it? If it, 19 bucks. Yeah, I'll have to try it. So just swept that low. Now I'm definitely moving my stop to even for fear of the divergence taking us out. And yes, it's showing strength. We're actually going to flatten the trade. And we might get a little SMT on these 1 minute highs, but I just want to do the, okay, top step support, status updates. Okay. I'll just say community support because obviously I can't get in right now. ES, relentless here. NQ still getting shoved by that top end. Might go for this flat top candle. Okay, it's breaking out of the new day opening gap. Old new day opening gap, that is. Let's look at the 1 minute. One minute looks like it's getting shoved back down. Let's see if it touches this open, or the, excuse me, this down close. Not the best close. So we're using that as the, actually, you know what? I'm out. I don't, it's the SMT from this low to this low that I don't like. If it holds that low, I could be chalked. It just didn't seem like it was a great move. I did like how we were holding this on the 1 minute bodies. I guess a retracement was definitely reasonable back down to the midpoint in those wickless candles. Probably should have held it. See if I can get another entry. I'll definitely retry it. Down into the midpoint. So that was just change in state of delivery. Notice that the 1 minute chart was getting shoved at the midpoint. Yes, still diverging on the low. NQ may still want to take that though. It's not, there's not enough on it to really take the trade. Let's just get rid of that. There's no point in having that on there anymore. Still frozen on these higher times. So annoying. Excuse me. I mean, we're still diverging on the 1 minute between this low. You know, it's like, what do you aim for though? Do you aim for this high on the 15-minute chart? You know, that's questionable. We can get a strong, yep. I was gonna say, if we can get a strong move above this close, and it, like, you know, obviously before it ran. That would probably be a good long opportunity up into midnight maybe. And watching this wickless candle to the upside. Come on, man. Unfreeze, dude. I might just try to refresh this. Oh. $15-minute. All right, my higher time frame candles seem to be moving now, which is nice. We've now filled 3/4 of the gap on NQ. Wow, look at that bottom wick. Maybe we are going to the M5 impulse. A little bit of SMT there was kind of the tell right at the trading ES holding the 50% level of its regular trading hours gap. Okay, we've just stabbed into the wickless 15-minute candle. So I guess obviously now we'd be watching these highs. But I'm not going to overly chase them just because I don't think I'm going to chase these highs because they are the SMT highs. This could just be a nasty retracement up to midnight just to absolutely puke. So we'll see. I mean, I might get more so involved if we invalidate the SMT from London. Like if we invalidate the divergence from London, then I may be up to get involved on the upside if we're going to run it up to the EQ, like the M5 impulse that I mentioned in pre-market analysis. But let's see, it could get kicked down here. So rejection of midnight and rejection on ES of that 3rd quarter quadrant. Could be an interesting short. Just gonna keep my eyes open. Yep. I'll dabble there. See if it wants to reject the 3rd quarter of that regular trading hours gap. Oh, man, that's a tongue twister and a half. I can't say that. Giving this one a little bit of room. Let me change this color back to the normal fair value gap color. Let's go here. So a little bit of coloring outside the lines. ES is now diverged. This could be the SMT inception. Just watching it here. SMT inception in terms of ES was the stronger pair. Now it's feigning to be the weaker pair on lower time frames and vice versa. Weaker now being stronger. I'm not going to get out of the trade because of that right now, just because this could be it. But typically I would look at that as a signal that I'm most likely wrong on the downside trade, and it actually could be the start of a more upside. I'm not going to add another one here, even though bodies are holding. I'm not, just because it can go either way when the bodies hold like that. If they just close right on there, it could just mean that it's going to blast off. That wick is, that's an aggressive candle print. I might have to accept defeat here. Yeah. So I'm not taking a long like I usually would, realizing that the short was not the way just because of where we are at. It's hard for me to buy this market right now. I will sell it again if it inverts this off the SMT with the yes. I'm going to try it there just to try to get value in terms of my stop placement. I have an alarm going off. Laundry. Coming back down here and using that. Let's see if that's the 1 minute now. Come on. Rejecting SMT at midnight. Let's see the candle close, 2 seconds. And then let's see the new 1 minute candle puke it down. If I'm wrong here, I might have to just, yeah. All right, I'll be back. Go switch over. Okay, we're back. We're just rejecting midnight, but on the higher time frame. Nothing nothing exciting. Moving up towards those London SMT. Let's throw this bad boy back on. That might be our problem, right? Huge rejection off midnight. Back into this gap. Didn't take the London either. Didn't take that London high. Oh man, what's going on? All right, I gotta take this. All right, we're back. Sorry. Let's see. We may get held up here using this gap. So rejecting the midpoint but holding the bottom. I'm actually gonna take the low. I'm gonna take the long. Excuse me. Let's just risk this low. I'm stopped. Son of a Held London. Could retrace from here. Might commit to the short side. So took a couple short just because we held the London SMT at the highs. And we'll see if we get some sort of meaningful displacement lower. Had some drives into the midnight open. Take one more there. Short, just averaged in, even though it's going to probably take to sweep these highs. Just kind of want to hang around and see. So just ran into that 1 minute fair value gap. We're starting to reject. I'm watching the 1 minute off of the quarter of that regular trading hours opening gap. A much wider stop than I want. I kind of wish I was entered up around here. And to be honest, the real stop should be right around there. But that's a lot of cheddar. Still NQ holding this low. Ugly. It's going to rocket up into here probably. I'm going to try to remain cool here. NQ's holding this gap. I added another one there. That's what I'm looking at. And I do want that better average. I also see these equals here. Not good that we're holding this. The midpoint here. That could be a death sentence for me. I like now that we're getting rid of it. Let's just continue lower. Like we got rid of holding this midpoint. Full fill on the 1 minute as well. There's about a minute left on a 15-minute candle. The current 15-minute candle, that is. My hope is a retracement for that 15-minute candle. Although it's starting to feel like I might just get steamrolled. 1 minute divergence within the 1 minute fair value gap is good for me on the highs between ES and NQ. I needed to hold that. In fact, I think I'm probably going to cut my risk all the way down to the high because of it. Waiting and watching here. Solid move down. Come on. No, I'm out of that one. Hate everything about it. The reaction off of the gap here was no good for me. So that was the 15-minute. We got the retracement into the gap. Probably should have peeled a couple off, but just wasn't fast enough. Now we invalidated that little 1-minute SMT. Was right about the SMT being our catalyst to the downside. I guess in hindsight, I should have moved the stop to even. Could have been a quick get back trade, but really not looking for that. I mean, obviously always looking to recover P&L, but wasn't like, was looking like, okay, if we're gonna puke, we're gonna, let me hold my position. So now we've invalidated the London SMT, so I'm good to go for longs here. And we have divergence on the 15-minute candle up. We might try to get cheeky, take some longs. We got to be careful because we'll fulfill that regular trading hour gap. Might just try to do some scalping to recover P&L. There's the full closure. Would be hard pressed to not see it take this high right here. Oh man. So the reason I'm not shorting that reaction right now is just because, okay, yeah, was waiting for the little pop above. I'm looking on the other chart. There's a 15-minute chart where we were just creating equals with this as we were bumping up against this. So I was not interested in the shorting that top end there for a quick retracement trade scalp. Now I might be though. So adding aggressively, just looking to scalp this move to the downside as a retracement. A move back within the regular trading hour gap. It's like less than 10 points. Okay, well that's cool that we took the high at least. It's definitely moving further on the upside than I'd like it to. Before offering the retrace, it's building these equal lows. It's going to leave them alone and then come back later, I think. Wow, I'm missing hard today. Just got nervous that it was building like some faux bottom like here, and then was just going to take one more spike up, and I just didn't want to weather it with the size that I had on. Yes, above midnight. Might try to use that to get long. So annoying. Just fading the double top. Not fading it, excuse me, like trusting the double top here as like a BS kind of working resistance and long with anticipating this being an inversion gap. Might try to trade it back down to the EQ here. Gonna take one off there, stop to even. I'll take one more, stop to even. And then we'll hold the other one for equilibrium of the range. Actually, you know, we might actually get a real puke down runner here if I'm wrong about it, kind of continuing higher. We could go way lower off of a full fill off the regular trading hours gap. We could see some selling pressure come in. So just wanted to recover some red P&L there while I could with the two contracts. Just I don't think that this is a real top, so that's why I wanted to get off most of the trade. It's also right around midnight is EQ of this range, so we probably will end up chopping the trade here. Or at least aggressively trailing. Let's continue to watch. We have this old order block. Might start getting that puke down that we were looking for. Just aggressively trail some more. Let's just see if it wants to just continue a full rundown. Wow. Talk about luck. All right, just stop there. We may take a long here. Actually, hold on. Let me double check it with NQ that it's a, yeah, okay, so on NQ2 it is equal highs. Maybe it runs down to view up, I'm not sure. Thought process was correct in holding the runner. Just ended up trailing a little bit too aggressive there, but I'm okay with that. Just to recover some size there. So the reason I trusted the double top is because situationally, like where we are, usually I don't trust these types of things, but we just filled in the regular trading hours gap. We barely peaked over that 1 minute high into the, 15-minute fair value gap. So I'm okay with taking that because that's a fake top, but doesn't, to me, it's a fake top, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to work. So, and also we have SMT. So maybe this is the move that kind of brings us far lower. The way it's accelerating down is truly making me feel that way. And Q is the weaker pair. Let's see if it wants to. I mean, it's like deep, deep value in terms of that range here. Yeah. Was thinking about taking a long down here and risking this low. Let's see, here's the quarter point. Are we rejecting that or are we going to use it as support? This could be an immediate rebalance in the 1 minute. It does look that way on NQ as well, so I'm not going to take the long here. I'm going to see it. I'm going to let this low possibly get taken. Let's just draw out this as an order block. See if it wants to hold price. Okay, into the balanced price range and breaker. We want to see this hold. We're approaching VWAP. Probably get some longs off VWAP here. What a short. This thing is just puking down. So you had the immediate rebalance. That's why I didn't choose to take the low or the long there. Immediate rebalance is typically like, you know, speed incoming. So that's interesting. See, why do we do that? Okay, so we held there. Nice move off VWAP. Let's see if it wants to shove this fair value gap. It may want to make one leg lower. Like, so I looked at the VWAP on my trading view and I saw that we were touching it, and then sometimes on the X platform, Topstep X, you have to scroll all the way out for it to adjust it and see how it messed it up again. Like I have to do all this jazz and then it's still messed up. It's still not right. Like why? Why does it do that? Inverted. Let's watch. I'm counting on it to move higher here. I'm gonna get rid of that. Let's see. There's just no entry for me just yet, besides just, you know, getting long to get long. We could use this as a breaker, low time frame. So we're just using this fair value gap, this breaker here. Timing is wrong here. There's the inversion. All right, just took our stop. I'm holding it out here just for a second, just to see. Like I said, I kind of want to commit to the long here. We do have the SMT at those highs, but it seems like this high is BS. I'll probably try again over this. Got caught. Just gonna quickly exit and I'll re-enter. Just probably could have gotten stopped around. Yeah. I hate that this gap is over here. Oh, man. It feels like it wants to come down. Let's use this. Come on. I'm adding into that move. Let's see if we can get some move back up at least into midnight. And try adding a little bit more aggressively into the move here. And again, we're going to chase it higher. Just moving my stop away. Giving it a little bit more room. Let's look here. I'm going to see it accelerate through the midpoint of this down leg. I don't really want to see it get kicked the way it is. And let's see the exponential run above the midpoint. All right, we're back into midnight. I don't love that from me. I do like that we invalidated the immediate rebalance. That's a good news. That's a good sign for me. I like the strength. Let's close above midnight and rip. Still trying to get shoved down there. Not great. Just trying to, really hold on to this trade. Trust the conviction of the higher bias. I feel, it's a good long. I feel like it's a good long. Let's see exponential move above this EQ of the leg. I'm taking 2 off there. Just as I'm seeing it kind of get rejected at midnight, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to hold it there. Considering the higher time frame, SMT, I don't really believe in it because we invalidated London's SMT, and I think we could probably go up to this impulse on the 5. But I don't want to fade the potential of getting caught. I don't want to fade it too hard because I could just get caught in a retracement lower, to balance out this range and then continue higher. Even though if we were going to continue higher, I'd much rather us leave this completely alone right now, this range alone, and then just move up higher and then save this. Because again, I think we need to fix these lows with the NQ contract down here. The bias overall is lower anyway. Yeah, bias is lower overall anyway, so I think if we're going to continue higher, it makes sense for us to put in this leg and like let's just go higher here. ES is trying to use midnight now to propel higher. NQ is showing that we're getting shoved. I'm watching this little fair value gap, see if it holds us, along with this hoping to be a breakaway gap. It's a nice little push up, no SMT just yet. I mean, there's SMT in the leg comparatively, but I like how we're using the midpoint now. Let's try to keep it exponential. Let's get vertical here and start ripping. I'm going to put my stop at even. No real. Don't want to be in the trade if it's going to come down here. I'd rather re-enter, see if I can get a move lower. I think this swing should be held. So maybe I'll take a $5 loss if it chooses to come that low. But otherwise, we're just going to hold. Could add into here, but again, we're going to just not try to fade the SMT. So yeah, decent for now. Good recovery in terms of daily P&L. Happy with my decision to have taken 2 off. You know what? It's actually probably not even worth me. Yeah, I mean, so I'm just measuring the midpoint of the wick. We have divergence between the 2 indexes here on this low. So now this low definitely is it should be protected at this point. If it's going to turn around this low, it definitely should be protected. I'd also like it to invalidate the change in state of delivery here on the 1 minute. It's showing speed like it wants to. Change in state of delivery is just, you know, we engulfed this last up close candle that moved into an important high. So there's definitely an add opportunity here. I'm choosing not to take it. Why, you ask, is because, well, I could be wrong. That's why. And we're going to hold for these fake highs. So that divergence is why this stop was safe. We may rip up to M5 EQ. ES is playing catch up. Is it going to be one of those days where it actually uses this stupid 1 minute to reject me off of more SMTs? Are we going to be in an SMT riddled day? What I do like also is look how we've created the SMT around the midpoint of the EQ of this down leg. Like I said before, your vertical runs, your explosive moves are going to happen just above the EQ. Really want it to punch through here. I don't like how it's lagging. Another tweezer top. Another tweezer top high put in. Let's move our stop to even. We're not taking a loss on this one. Wow, that's aggressive. Back into midnight. It's probably going to come take me out. That's crazy. Yuck. I'll try another one there. I like how we came down right into the midpoint again. I don't buy this. I think this is like, I'm a non-believer in this high. Yes, I know we're diverging, but I don't. Structurally, I'm calling bull. I also like how we just completely held the 1 minute there. Yeah, I'm a non-believer in the structure. Yep. Trying another off the SMT. I also just, we're holding the midpoint of this range. We're bouncing off of it. I'm not into it. Bought another one off of the inversion of this here. I just want us to see us. I just want to see us take off here. And I'm happy to get a little aggressive on this move. ES is still showing strength, like it wants to continue moving higher. So I'm trying to, be unafraid of any sort of NQ weakness here. ES clearly wants to close in the regular trading hours gap. Yep. I'm going to take another one just because NQ's playing around in this. And ES is still taking highs. NQ's just being a little slower than I'd like. I wish I had a third. If I had a third, the game plan would be, man, Topstep is tripping. If I had a third contract, the game plan would be peel 1, even, peel 2, up here, hold. So, I mean, once we get up here, it's going to have to be some sort of a split decision. This is balanced. I'd rather us not move or spend, dive too much deeper into here, like this range, specifically this one right here. I don't think we should see too much movement in there. So it'd actually be kind of a safe add, but or not a safe add, but a place to add. You just don't want to see it move into this and spend a lot of time or like move way deep below it because there's really no reason for it to do that. We've had pass, 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 pass. And now if we're going to move up, it should just leave that area alone. So quick rejection off the area. Let's just see it move now. Speed. Speed is what we want. So you had, like I said, displacement, 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 displacement. If we're going to continue moving forward, I don't believe we should be hanging around this area too much. And if we are, then I could just be wrong. It's not as good of a long as I'd want it to be. What's annoying is that NQ has been so stubborn the last few days, whereas like the other indexes have just been moving real nice and doing what they have to do. NQ has just been giving me a hard time. So here's that nice push up through. Our place of balance worked. We're actually going to move our stop right there. Now we can get away with a little bit less, a little bit more than even if it chooses to come down. I'll actually put it right below the 705. Good tap into the midpoint. That should be a long. That should be an add there through these highs, but we're not going to. We're just going to chill with what we have. It's a tough day. We will move our stop up though. And I'm just going to try to hold on to this, I think. Hmm. 1 minute. Kind of ugly there. I don't see why it would need to take the low, like right under where my stop is. I mean, it can, but I don't see why. Because that last explosive move, oh, there it goes, and there's that little fair value gap. Wonder if it'll catch us. Battle, 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 battle today. So now we've completely caught up into these imbalances. I just want to take a look at YM here for a minute. Okay. I don't know how much mind I want to pay that. So YM moved above this candle's high, unlike the other indexes, and now we're getting kind of top heavy shoved. Let's go here, let's go there, do that. It's just messy up here. It's hard to chase longs up here. Back in that area of balance, See if it chooses to reject it again. Mouse pad is moving all over this one, staying stuck. It's losing balance, and now we're moving lower. So I took a short because we lost the balance. This candle came in, opened with a volume imbalance. Just thinking like maybe this is it, maybe it's time for us to roll over. We're above midnight, swept those dumb highs. A little bit of divergence with the Dow. And it's really this area of balance where I'm getting a lot of my idea from. The fact that we gave that up is questionable to me. And look how we're not kind of going back in it. We'll see. And I don't like how there's these bunch of little tiptoey drives into this balance price range right above midnight. That's the one thing that I don't love. We'll move the stop just above here. And the 1 minute body holding the regular trading hour gap open. NQ just relentless. ES just relentlessly strong. Just had that midpoint touched into. And then just a complete rejection off of it. I think it should roll over, to be honest. I really do. At least the way it's acting, over here. I'd like to see it just collapse. You have all these low resistance lows. Trendline liquidity that should get ran through. Just got to be careful around midnight here. Toast. the 15-second lows that are put in here. So I'm not longing. I don't see anything. There's you know, I don't, you know, I don't really see much. Yeah, I guess we could just drop around here towards the top end. There's like really not much guidance for me here. I'm just gonna stand still for a little bit. Look at rates. Rates are pretty much flat. Everyone's waiting. Still rejecting off the top end of the regular trading hours gap. The tweezers and stuff are making it seem like it's too obvious as to like a short. Let's go back up to YM. Yeah. Equals, equals, equals. Yuck. Equals here. Just being a choppy range. Hanging around midnight. ES equals on the 1, but I mean, like, that's pretty characteristic. It pretty much does that all the time. Hmm. How are they starting to push after putting in the down close? Or 15-minute, excuse me. We're now going to move that up to there. I'll put in the same thing for yes. All right. There's a smidge of SMT. I'll bite. Stop above that high. Let's go for these. Just play it. It's a range trade. So we have divergence. Divergence. Playing the range, trying to just kind of get short. 30-second fair value gap there. Let's look at the 15-second here. Midpoint rejection is good. Maybe back down to VWAP or something. SMT is invalidated. Just gonna see if I can get out with minimal blood here. Or we'll just take a full stop. Add a couple. So a little bit more than full stop here if we can't get back. Yeah, that's fine. Looked for the opportunity to kind of get out on a retracement. We risked $13 more to try to do that. Yeah, I guess just downside is not the move. Let's take a long. Let's see if I think ES is going to want to move up into this I. Same with NQ. And you can see how we were holding the previous 15-second, what we looked to use as the for our down move. Let's look at the 1 minute. Like I said, we're using this as our point of interest. If it wants to come down into here, so be it. Excuse me. Looking for the down close candle to hold us, paired with this bullish for value gap. So let's just do that. Added another one there. Just as it's, yes, looked like it was going to try to make a pop up. And how we're playing around the midpoint of this inversion gap here. And what would now be a new breaker paired with the order block. Gonna add another one there. And another. Trying again. I hope it didn't reclaim this. It's acting like it. Oh man, that's gross. We're out. Rough. Rebalance these gaps here. I'm actually gonna get back in. I think it just needs to come touch these gaps and let's see it move up. Popped back in on full size there. Do I have to go? It's just holding this gap. Ugly. The 30-second real quick. Yeah, I'm in trouble. Need an explosive move to the upside. Try a little bit more there. For the follow through pump. Come on. ES is moving up towards that high, which I like. We're sized up. Come on, man. Just got to get through that regular trading hours gap high. I don't know what just happened, why I flattened all of them. I really only should have flattened 5. Whatever. I think my finger was just a little bit too light / heavy on the hotkey, so I touched it once and then it must have gotten me, like, re-triggered the button. So I'm not going to hop back in for that reason. I have to go anyway. I have a doc appointment at 11:20, so yeah, ES is reaching. It was kind of getting chopped around these last couple days, second guessing my draw. That sucks. We would be still in 5 right now. All right, we're gonna cut it there. Maybe I'll come back later today to see what's going on with the market. So, but for now, we'll cut the stream here because I gotta roll. All right, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.